morning, and welcome to the 2025 District 2 Workers' Memorial. Please join me in acknowledging our honor guard and flag bearers along with our piper, Jonathan Pangburn. Thank you for representing District 2 in such a wonderful fashion today. We will lead things off with Mark Robertson, Chaplain from the Anderson Police Department and former Caltrans District 2 employee, who will provide our invocation.
Good morning. What a glorious day. As a retired Caltrans employee, it's an honor to be with you today as we acknowledge our brothers and sisters who daily put their lives on the line and those who have lost their lives in the act of serving the millions of people who travel the roadways throughout the state of California. Would you please bow your heads with me? Our most holy God, first of all, I thank you for these men and women who have chosen to serve the public in this organization we know as Caltrans. May you remind each one that while there is a personal benefit to a life of service, the greater benefit is to those they serve with, as relationships have a profound way of bringing purpose and meaning to life. The act of serving has no greater alternative. Please grant each one a safe passage through life. And Lord, for those here today who have lost a loved one as they carried out their duties, let it be known to them that their loss is a loss for all of us as brothers and sisters. And we give honor to them for their friendship and comradeship. Not that we can understand their pain, but that we stand with them to comfort and support them. May this day, as a memorial, be a testimony to that fact, for they will always be remembered for their friendship and their life of service. Our God, give wisdom to those who direct, lead, and discharge the duties, to the men and women who diligently carry out the mission of the day, always mindful of the priority of safety. Each one here has the responsibility that they and their fellow employees will return safely to their homes, to their families, to their friends, and to all loved ones. These things I ask of you, God, in your name.
And now, if you can remain standing, please remove your caps for the singing of our national anthem, being sung today by Jaclyn Byrd, Caltrans District 2 Facilities Coordinator and Contract Manager.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we had at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets spread glad, the bombs bursting in bed gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
seated. So before we get going with our speakers, I have a few acknowledgments and announcements to make, and want to recognize some of our speakers here today. I'd like to take a moment first and thank Caltrans Quincy Area Maintenance Superintendent Josh Dixon, Chester Maintenance Supervisor Adam Jansen, and the entire Chester Maintenance crew for hosting us today. Let's give them a round of applause. So I'd like to also acknowledge and thank the following people for being here today. Representing the family of Sean Baker, Tammy Baker. Representing the family of Robert Jones, mother Marty Magram, and brother Denny, sorry. And from the Tracy Chris family, wife Marlene and her son Casey, and Marlene's brother and sister-in-law, Tom and Patty Taylor. Thank you for coming. We have a few members of the Caltrans leadership, our statewide executive board here today, and I just want to acknowledge them. We have Speaker Janice Benton, our Deputy Director for Maintenance and Operations statewide. Our Speaker Rachel Carpenter, our Chief Safety Officer from Headquarters Safety, Traffic Safety. Our Chief Counsel for Caltrans Legal, Aaron Holbrook. And our District 3 Director, Sergio Sivas. There you are, Sergio. You're supposed to be up here in the reserve seat. I do would like to mention and thank for District 2 in the North region, we have most of the Deputy District Directors or Division Chiefs here today representing us as well. From our partners at CHP, who help us keep the roadways safe and help protect our work zones through their efforts, we have Speaker Lieutenant Lacey Carney, the Susanville Area Commander. We have Cal Robertson here today, whose son Joel will also be playing taps later. We also have Philip Martinson, the Public Information Officer for Caltrans Northern Division. And there might be a few others out there in the audience. I would like to acknowledge that we do have Anthony Gorman here, District Representative of Senator Megan Dalley's office. And I'm not sure if Mark Mazzano has showed up yet, District Field Representative for Assemblywoman Heather Hadley. So welcome. As you traveled here today, you may have noticed one of the two recently constructed gateway monuments acknowledging the community of Chester. The monuments also reference the mountain mighty name for this area, Boyden Coed, acknowledging the first people to call this area home. These monuments were funded through the Caltrans Clean California program and developed in close coordination with Plumas County and the Mighty Summit Consortium. A ribbon cutting ceremony will occur in the coming weeks to celebrate the completion of that project, and we'll be able to provide more information what that project means to the area up here. I'd also like to point your attention that you may have noticed a poster near the welcome table congratulating our district winner in the statewide poster contest this year. Each year, children, grandchildren, nieces, and nephews aged 17 and under of Caltrans employees are eligible to submit highway safety art for the annual poster contest. This year's themes were to include the Be Work Zone Alert and or the Move Over phrases in bold and bright colors. We're very proud to announce our statewide winner this year in the contest, Adyan Anwar, for the ages 11 to 13 category. He is attending today with his father, Ashak Anwar, right here. Ashak is our major damage coordinator for District 2 Maintenance Engineering. Please give them, father and son, a round of applause. You may have also seen our Work Zone Awareness campaign posters around this venue. This campaign is a result of work by our Public Information Officer, Haley Pike. If you happen to see these photos and messages on our social media channels, feel free to share to help spread our message of keeping our workers safe. On Thursday, April 17th, our 35th annual statewide Workers' Memorial was held at Riverwalk Park in West Sacramento, where we remembered and honored the 194 Caltrans workers that have died in the line of duty. Caltrans District 2 has lost 14 of those 194 workers since 1924. You may have noticed that our statewide number increased to 194 this year. On July 22nd, Alexander Rodish, an equipment operator 2 with the San Juan Capistrano Maintenance Station in District 12, was killed while working on a section of Interstate 5. Rodish began his career with Caltrans in 2021 as a service assistant maintenance worker as part of the Back to Work program and promoted quickly in his short time with the state. Rodish leaves behind his mother Sheila, twin sister Lisa, brothers Arnold, Jeff, and Robert, nieces Megan and Annie, and his nephew Kenny. And if any of you did attend the statewide Workers' Memorial, you would have heard a very heartfelt speech by his twin sister Lisa. Now I'd like to introduce the first of our speakers today. I'd like to please welcome Lieutenant Lacey Carney, the Susanville Area CHP Commander.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me the honor of speaking today. My name is Lacey Carney, and I'm one of the 9 area commanders representing the California Highway Patrol, who works in partnership with Caltrans District 2. I've had the pleasure of working in other districts throughout California, and I can confidently say that the professional relationship between the CHP and Caltrans District 2 is by far the strongest and most fruitful partnership that I've experienced. We are thankful for the amazing collaboration we have with our Caltrans partners and count ourselves truly blessed to be able to stand with you in a common pursuit of our goal to provide the highest level of safety and service to those who live, work, and travel in our great state. I am humbled and grateful as I stand here with you to honor the highway workers who have lost their lives building, maintaining, and operating California's world-class transportation system. As I was preparing for today, I reflected a lot on the 194 highway workers who have lost their lives serving the people of California since 1921, and those specifically that you have lost here in District 2. This number really struck me as I thought about them, their families, their friends, their loved ones, co-workers, as well as their beat partners, the 242 CHP officers who lost their lives serving that same mission. Here specifically, I've worked over for the last 6 years, and those in the Susanville and Chester area, Caltrans, they're our eyes, they're our ears, they're our beat partners out there. So that number resonates so well because we share that office with you guys. I thought about how dangerous a highway worker's job is as they manage thousands and thousands of miles of roadway, bridges, rest areas, and acres of roadside landscape throughout the state, providing a safe and reliable transportation system. They work day and night, often when the weather is severe, at least up here, right? When someone has crashed, when they're injured, when someone has died, when a road needs repaired or cleared. It is recognized that the greatest danger to a highway worker is the errant driver. We use the word errant, but it is more than just errant. It's a distracted driver, a drunk driver, a speeding driver, or a careless driver. These are the same dangers that us as CHP officers face each day with you. It is tragic beyond words that such unnecessary acts as these have taken the lives of so many, for both you and us. This needless loss of life too often occurs while brave highway workers are upholding their commitment to improve the safety of our roadways. Please know your CHP partners feel your sorrow and are committed to stopping and preventing such errant drivers and senseless loss of life. Collectively, we must learn from each tragedy and commit to do better. Better engineering, better enforcement, better education, in memory of our lost highway workers, for all of our current highway workers, and for those who may one day choose to serve in this honorable profession. Today, the CHP stands with you as we honor the memories, the commitment, and the sacrifices that have been made by those that we have lost. They are truly the unsung heroes of our great state. May they never be forgotten, and may God bless you all. Thank you.
Next, we have Janice Benton, Headquarters Deputy Director, Maintenance and Operations, Safety and Equipment, who will share some thoughts on worker safety.
Thanks, Dave. All right, good morning, everybody. And thank you to Dave, the executive team here in District 2, and all of the District 2 family for welcoming me to such a sacred ceremony. I'm honored to be here and standing here today from a place of wholehearted support for each of you and the tireless work you do every day to serve our state. Today, we gather with heavy hearts to honor and remember our colleagues who have lost their lives in the line of duty. It is a solemn occasion, but also one that reminds us of the importance of safety and the paramount value of human life. May their sacrifices never be forgotten, and may their lives continue to inspire us to strive for a better and safer and more compassionate world. As was mentioned, since 1921, there have been 194 fallen workers statewide. And as the Deputy Director of Maintenance and Operations, I'm committed to upholding the principles of people first in everything we do. And to me, this means making sure that every one of you get to go home to your families every night. That is the most important thing to me. A couple of ways I want to share, some ways that we are advancing safety through the implementation of innovative technologies, such as a wearable lighted harness that can be worn over our garments, over any of our garments, to improve our visibility during hours of darkness. Changing our cone specifications to increase the retroreflectivity, and also adding delineation to the base, so in the event the cone is knocked over, it'll still be picked up by headlights. Piloting lighted cones as well, that can be set to either a flash, a sequential flash, or a solid. And then continuing to test the autonomous attenuator trucks. Anything we can do to keep our workers out of harm's way. Another innovation is how we share information with the public. QuickMap now includes push notifications for all lane closures, and will also push information to navigation maps and systems to alert motorists, encourage safe driving through our work zones. These are just a few examples where we're making improvements, but we can never be done until we reach 0 deaths on our system. I know it can seem impossible, but I believe it is possible. And I believe it starts here. If you have any ideas to improve safety on our system and improve the safety of your work environment, please reach out to me or any one of us up here, or reach out to your management. We're looking for any and all ideas, especially from the folks that are working in the field. As we continue to expand our Caltrans family and have brought more and more employees into the maintenance program in recent years, whether it's through Clean California or other initiatives, it is more important than ever to prioritize safety. Every life matters, every story, every journey. Let us commit ourselves to building a safer and more inclusive system for everyone. In closing, I want to express my deepest gratitude to every one of you for allowing me to join you today in this journey of remembrance. Today, let us carry forward the memories, the legacies, and the enduring spirit of those we have lost, and may their sacrifices never be forgotten, and may their lives continue to inspire us to strive for a better, safer, and more compassionate world. Thank you.
Next, we have Rachel Carpenter, Chief Safety Officer from Headquarters Traffic Safety, who will talk about the safe systems approach as well as worker safety.
Good morning. I'm Rachel Carpenter, your Chief Safety Officer. I want to thank Director Muir and his team for inviting me to today's memorial. And I want to thank all of you for the work that you do every single day to keep our transportation system maintained and operated. We're here together to honor the lives and legacy of the Caltrans workers who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. But before I go further, let's take stock of the key facts. Provisional data showed that last year, District 2 had 56 crashes that resulted in a lost life and 199 crashes that resulted in a serious injury. The victims of these crashes are not strangers. To the friends, family, and coworkers of those who we've lost, please know that your loved ones are not forgotten. Their service and dedication continues to inspire us. They help to keep our roads safe and our communities connected. So every day we keep our workers in mind and we continue to honor them through action. We've made our stance on road deaths firm. 0 is the only acceptable number. But the problem of road deaths is complex and system-wide, and it requires a system-level suite of solutions, which is why we have adopted the Safe System approach to combat the rise in road deaths and serious injuries. The Safe System approach is a significant evolution in how transportation safety is conceptualized. It puts people first. The approach acknowledges that mistakes are inevitable, while also asserting that death and serious injury should not be the price for mobility. It involves building layers of redundancy that function as safety nets for our users, so that even if someone makes a mistake on the roadway, the system as a whole minimizes the likelihood of death and serious injury. And Caltrans is partnering with organizations across the state and strengthening internal partnerships to build in those redundancies. And I want to give you a couple of examples. Through the Strategic Highway Safety Plan, we're collaborating with multiple state departments, like the California Highway Patrol, the California Office of Traffic Safety, the Emergency Medical Services Authority, and others to improve road safety. We're working with universities like UC Davis to study road safety policies and techniques. Through the Highway Safety Improvement Program, we're allocating funds to cities and counties for the installation of safety infrastructure on local roads. Through the introduction of our HM for Safety pilot program, we're utilizing the Highway Maintenance Program's delivery process, which has a unique ability to install and maintain safety enhancements more quickly than other safety improvement programs. And we're working with the private sector to procure new safety devices and systems to protect our workers and the traveling public. Our collaborative work demonstrates the principle that responsibility is shared and that we must take a holistic approach to everyone's safety. And this starts with the work that we do to ensure the safety of our own workers. There's no better way to show that we care about our teams than to make sure that they're safe on the job. So I want to thank our brave workers for what you do. Caltrans would not exist without you, and your safety is our top priority. Let this memorial be a reminder that safety is not just a policy. It's a promise that we must keep. Now I'd like to hand it off to our Deputy District Director for Traffic Operations and Maintenance, Stacey. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. As Rachel said, Stacey Barnes, I'm your Deputy District Director for Maintenance and Operations. I've been in this position now for just about a year, and it was a really tough decision for me, building up to applying for this job. As you know, I've worked with maintenance for a long time, and I know what you do is so important and that you risk your lives every day. And so I just couldn't help, but have this dreaded fear that someday I might experience a serious injury or even worse, a fatality, and that fear of having to face the family to bring the bad news. No amount of training can prepare you for that kind of situation. So it was a tough decision, but I love the maintenance family. And so you see, I don't consider Caltrans just a job, or the people that I work with here, just my coworkers. Caltrans is my second home, and the people I work with are my family. They're like my children, and I will do anything that it takes to make sure that they are safe. I wanted to share a story about my second week on the job. I dropped in first thing in the morning to talk to my maintenance manager, just to get familiar with what he was working on. And when I walked in, he was on the phone, very visibly upset. I'm going to try to maintain. Sometimes I get a little emotional. But something had happened at one of our maintenance yards. And I sat with him as he waited through the phone calls to get all the details. One of our crew members, Byrd, had collapsed in the crew room and became unresponsive. After notifying his emergency contacts, we immediately headed to the Hayfork maintenance yard to meet with Joe's coworkers, who had just gotten done performing CPR for over an hour on Joe. It took that long just for emergency personnel to get there because the weather was so bad and it was tough. But despite their life-saving efforts, Joe later passed away in the hospital. The gentlemen that were there that day are true heroes in my heart. They're indeed first responders, and I value them immensely. Marcus, Jeremy, Ryan, Pepper, you guys are there. Thank you for being there that day. While Joe was not killed in the line of duty, we would still like to take this moment to honor him. And you'll see, you probably saw the poster of he and his beautiful children up there by the sign-in table. If you didn't see it, take time to stop by there. The guys at the Hayfork maintenance station, they had a brotherhood and a deep respect for each other. They told me that Joe was a great father to his two daughters and cared a lot for his family. In fact, he was his dad's caretaker. He was a hard worker, a great friend, and well-liked by his group. So if you would now, please take a moment of silence. Thank you for honoring Joe.
And now we will have the presentation of our cones and the reading of the names of our fallen here in District 2. I'd like to invite up Roger Lucas, our District Field Maintenance Manager, and Josh Dixon, our Quincy Area Maintenance Superintendent.
George W. Rice, 1924, maintenance foreman who was killed while supervising a rock crushing operation near Castella in Shasta County.
Frank Reyes, 1926, a maintenance worker killed by a tree that was uprooted in a windstorm and crushed the vehicle he was driving near Lewiston in Trinity County.
U.S. Grant, 1926, a maintenance foreman who was killed while attempting to extinguish a fire on a wooden bridge across the Klamath River near Orleans in Humboldt County.
F.S. Christensen, 1935, a powderman who was killed in a premature explosion during construction of the Feather River Highway.
Raymond Bouland, 1935, an assistant highway engineer who was killed in an accident near Tule Lake, where he was working as a resident engineer on a grading project.
Billy Yu, 1962, an assistant highway engineer who was killed as a result of an automobile accident on State Route 299 near Canby.
Ralph Greisenbeck, 1964, a highway maintenance man too, who was killed when he was crushed between his patch truck and an errant vehicle near Newell on State Route 139.
Danny Shrevas, 1973, an equipment operator too, who was killed on State Route 96 near Happy Camp when a large dead tree fell from the top of a 100-foot cliff and landed on a 10-wheeler dump truck he was driving.
Taylor, 1976, landscape maintenance worker 2, who was killed by an errant vehicle while walking behind a spray rig on the shoulder of Interstate 5 just north of the Tehama-Glenn County line.
Wade Bruin, 1980, an equipment operator who was killed on US 395, approximately 30 miles north of Susanville. A member of a 4-person crew patching potholes, he was struck and killed by an errant motorist who entered the roadway.
Robert Essenkreis, 1993, a civil transportation engineer who was killed when he was crushed under the wheels of a full sand truck in a construction zone on Interstate 5 while inspecting the slurry sealing dock.
Muir, 2008, a civil transportation engineer who died as a result of an automobile accident while working as part of a survey crew on the Red Bluff Maintenance Station construction site.
Sean Baker, 2013, an equipment operator 2 who was killed on State Route 96 in Siskiyou County due to a slide during a rock scaling operation.
Robert Jones, 2013, an equipment operator 2 who was killed on State Route 96 in Siskiyou County due to a rock slide during a rock scaling operation.
Tracy Chris, 2016, equipment operator 2 that passed away while conducting snow removal operations near Big Valley Mountain Summit in Lacey County. Black cone. This black cone is a remembrance of all state workers who have lost their lives in the line of duty.
And now Joel Robertson will play taps. Please stand and remove your hats. Following the playing of taps, please remain standing as our honor guard and flag bearers exit the physical accompaniment our Piper Johnson flag. Thank you, everyone, for attending this year's District 2 Memorial. We at Caltrans are committed to keeping you safe as we design and maintain our vast transportation system. Please let's do all our parts and drive safely. Please feel free to stick around. We do have some water and cookies back there for everyone. Thank you all for coming today.